Hello students, welcome back. In our previous session, we had discussed about mixtures, types of mixtures and solutions. So, what is the mixture? Mixture is a substance obtained by mechanically mixing of two or more elements or compounds. It can be in any proportion, right? This is what we discussed. Homogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture means which has uniform composition, which behaves like a single component. It is called as a homogeneous mixture. Heterogeneous mixture is a mixture which has non-uniform composition, which is called as heterogeneous mixture. Then we studied about solutions. Solutions consist of two substances, that is what we call as solute and solvent. The quantity which is dissolved in solvent, which is always in small amount, we call it as solute, and the quantity which is in large amount, that is what we call as solvent. Usually solvent can be referred as water. Usually we take water as solvent, and other particles which are in less amount, we call it as solute. There are three types of solution. True solution. True solution is a solution which can be easily recognized, which cannot be easily recognized in a solution. Say for example, let us take, we had taken like sodium chloride plus water, right? In our previous session we did that, and we dissolved sodium chloride in water. When the sodium chloride dissolved in the water, we saw that sodium chloride ions completely dissolved in the water and they were not seen in the water, right? Therefore we call it as true solution, which has what? Which has uniform composition in the solution. Second one is we have called as colloidal solution. Colloidal solution is a solution wherein the solute particles are slightly bigger than that of the solute particles in the true solution, and they can be easily recognized in the solution. Say for example milk, right? Milk is a colloidal solution. In this milk, the solute particles are what? The solute particles are, it can be vitamins, nutrients, carbohydrates, calcium present in the milk, and the solvent is what? Water. Therefore, colloidal solution is a solution which has solute particles slightly greater than the true solution and has very much less solvent, and this colloidal solution cannot be separated by any filtration method. Any filtration method, it cannot be separated. Suspension. So students, suspension is nothing but in which the solute particles are big enough, you can easily recognize in the solution, right? Such solutions are called suspension. The particles get suspended. The particles get suspended. Say for example, we take water and some sand particles, yes, or we can say some charcoal particles, right? So when we mix water and charcoal, you can easily recognize a black color powder into the solution. So those solution which has got solute particles are big enough to, and which can be easily recognized in a solution, we call them as suspension. So this was about a quite quick recap for the previous session. Now coming to the characteristics of mixture. Coming to the characteristics of mixtures. So, what is the first characteristic of a mixture? By all these things, when you see, what can be the first characteristic of mixture? That is, the constituents or the components of the mixture can be in any proportion. To get a mixture, you can mix the components, you can mix the elements, you can mix any substance in any proportion, then you will get a mixture. So constituents can be in any proportion, you can mix them however you want and you can get a mixture. Mixture exists in homogeneous form as well as in heterogeneous form. It exists in homogeneous form and heterogeneous form, right? So as the constituents of the mixture or the components of the mixture are mixed in any proportion, there is no chemical bond. There is no chemical bond formation in the mixture. No chemical bond. There is no chemical bond in mixtures. Okay. There are no chemical bonds. As there is no chemical bond, that is, the substances are not undergoing any chemical reaction, so therefore they are physically mixed, they are mechanically mixed. Therefore we can say there is no loss or gain of energy. There is no loss or gain of energy. Energy is neither lost nor energy is gained, right? The constituents of the proportion, as mechanically we have mixed, physically we have mixed the substances, we can separate it easily by physical method. It can be easily separated by physical method. And the mix, depending upon the substances, have their own boiling points and melting points. In the case of mixtures also, they have different boiling points and melting points. They have the different melting points and that of the boiling points. So students, these are all the properties of the characteristics of mixtures. Now these are all how the mixtures are formed and what are the properties of the mixture. So later now we'll do an experiment which shows how the mixtures are different from the compounds. Okay students, now let us demonstrate an experiment to find out how the mixtures are different from compounds. Okay, as we know that mixtures are the substances which are mechanically mixed, whereas compounds are the substances which have been prepared or by it is undergoing a chemical reaction by definite mass, right? Now let us do an experiment to find out the difference between mixture and compound. For that, let us take 10 grams of iron and 10 grams of sulfur and grind it. Okay. When now we have mixed it what? Mechanically. We have mixed mechanically what? Iron and sulfur is been grinded and it is a mechanically mixed. So it forms a powdery substance. It is what we call as iron and sulfur mixture. Okay. Next, make a compound, now let us take again 10 grams of iron and 10 grams of sulfur, heat it. Okay. When we heat it, it changes into a chemical, it undergoes a chemical reaction forming a precipitate or forming a compound called as iron sulfide. It undergoes a chemical reaction forming a substance or a compound called as iron sulfide. Now, in a compound, the properties of the compound are very much different from the properties of its constituent elements, right? So, therefore, a completely new substance has been formed here, that is what we call as iron sulfide. Now, when we bring, say for example, here we have the compound is being formed. It is completely different from the mixture of iron and sulfur. So here we have iron and sulfur mixture and here we have a compound of iron sulfide. Now next, this shiny black precipitate or compound which is formed is iron sulfide. Now let us test the magnetism of in both the cases. So now in this case we have brought a horseshoe magnet. We have brought a horseshoe magnet near to this mixture. When we have brought this, the iron fillings which were present, the iron fillings which were present in this mixture got attracted to the horseshoe magnet. So here the properties of iron has not changed when it has been mixed with sulfur in the case of mixture, right? So when in this case, in the case of compound, when we have brought a horseshoe magnet near this iron sulfide compound, now it is a compound, so therefore it did not show any change. This means that the properties of iron has completely changed. The properties of the iron are not same in the iron sulfide. Okay. Now let us check if what about the solubility. Now we'll take a conical flask. Okay, and sorry, we'll take a beaker, test tube. In this test tube, let us take this mixture. Let us take this mixture. Which mixture? Iron and sulfur mixture. And add hydrochloric acid to this. When the hydrochloric acid is been dropped into this mixture, you can see that the iron present in this mixture is reacting with hydrochloric acid, forming what? Forming iron chloride plus hydrogen gas is liberating out with the blue flame. With the blue flame. As you know that hydrogen is a highly inflammable gas. Okay, so when the iron and sulfur plus hydrochloric acid is being added, the iron reacts with the HCl forming iron chloride releasing hydrogen gas. When the hydrogen gas is released with the blue flames. Similarly, when the same thing is being done with the help of, let us take a test tube and let us take iron sulfide here, the compound iron sulfide here. So when we take the iron sulfide and when the same hydrochloric acid is allowed to put into this test tube, you can see that this is iron sulfide. Okay, so when it is reacting with hydrochloric acid, so it forms, no doubt it forms iron chloride plus it is releasing a gas called as hydrogen sulfide. So in this case hydrogen was released with the blue flame. Okay, whereas in this case what you can see that the gases of what? The gases of hydrogen sulfide is released. Okay, which has got the rotten egg smell. Rotten egg smell in the sense the smell of the egg which is completely spoiled. Okay, so this is about the hydrogen sulfide. So students, in this case we had seen that hydrogen gas is emerging out and here we have got hydrogen sulfide. Whereas when iron is reacting with hydrochloric acid, sulfur remains unreacted. Here sulfur remains unreacted. That is sulfur, however the sulfur salt was like that, as it is, it remains in the test tube. Then let us do one more demonstration here, like how it reacts with the sulfur. Now let us take the same mixture of iron and sulfur, which is having iron and sulfur, powdered form of iron and sulfur. Then add carbon disulfide to this. When we add carbon disulfide to this solution or this mixture, you can see that when we add this carbon disulfide, the sulfur present in this mixture gets dissolved. Sulfur gets dissolved. Okay, whereas the iron fillings which were present in this test tube remained unchanged. They were remained unchanged. Whereas when the same iron sulfide was added to this, when same carbon disulfide is added to this iron sulfide solution, it didn't show any change. It didn't show any change in the reaction. So therefore you can see here how the difference is there between a mixture and a compound. With this, let us find out the differences between mixture and that of the differences between of compound. So students, now with this experiment we can find out the differences between compound and mixture. So in compound what we took? Compound has the constituent elements are in fixed proportion. So we can say that constituents or components of compound are in fixed proportion. Then only a compound can be formed, right? Whereas in case of mixture, there is no fixed proportion. No fixed proportion. Okay, there is no fixed proportion by mass. By mass, we need a perfect fixed proportion is there for compound, right? Because it is not mixed in a fixed proportion, there is no chemical bonding between the two constituents or between the two components. Whereas in the compound, there is a chemical bond between the sulfur and iron. Therefore, iron sulfide is formed. There is a strong bond in iron and sulfide. So here we can say that there are chemical bonds where in the compounds there are chemical bonds, and in mixture there are no chemical bonds. There are no chemical bonds, right? Third one, we have the iron and sulfur mixture can be separated easily by which method? Physical method. Easily you can identify the iron fillings and easily you can identify the sulfur powder, and you can separate it physically. Whereas compounds cannot be separated by physical method. It has to undergo a chemical method to separate this iron and sulfur. So with this we can say that compound cannot be separated by physical method. So it cannot be separated by physical method. It has to undergo a chemical method to get separated. Whereas mixture has to be can be separated by physical method. So students, whenever this compound is being formed, there is accompanied with some change in energy. Whenever a compound is formed, there is always loss or gain of energy in the case of what? In the case of compound. Whereas in the case of mixture, it is not, there is no loss nor there is any gain of energy. It is simple mixture. Mechanically it is mixed and there is no loss, or it is not accompanied by any change in energy. So with this we can write the point that there is loss or gain of energy. Some sort of energy is gained or lost during this reaction. Whereas in the case of mixture, there is no loss or gain of energy. So students, this is about the differences. This is about the differences between compounds and mixture. Always remember, compounds have fixed proportion. Compounds have fixed proportion. They can be formed by only by chemical bonds, and they can be only separated by physical methods, and always compounds are accompanied with the change in energy. Whereas mixtures have no fixed proportion. They have undergo no chemical bonds are there in between them. It can easily be separated by physical method, and there is no loss or no gain of energy. It is not accompanied with any change in energy. So now we have types of mixtures. You know students, mixtures can also exist in solids, they can exist in liquids, they can exist in gas. And mixtures have two different types. They can be in homogeneous form and they can be in heterogeneous form. Now let us see that in a mixture, like solid mixture, like we have here, solid mixture can form a homogeneous mixture, also it can form a heterogeneous mixture. And solid liquid mixture, solid liquid mixture can form a homogeneous mixture as well as a heterogeneous mixture. Liquid gas mixture, liquid gas mixture can also form homogeneous mixture and as well as a heterogeneous mixture. Now, if I say solid mixture, solid mixture, where the components of the mixture are what? Both solids. Okay, solid mixture can form homogeneous as well as heterogeneous mixture. You know that what is the homogeneous meaning? Homogeneous meaning it has uniform composition, and that is what we cannot be perceived, which cannot be perceived. Therefore homogeneous mixture. Say for example we have brass. We have brass. Okay, brass. So brass is a mixture of what? Copper and zinc. Copper and zinc, right? Similarly, we have one more example for we have bronze. We have bronze. It is a mixture of copper and tin. So in this case, when a solid and solid is mixed, it forms a homogeneous mixture. In brass and bronze are the example, where copper is also a solid, zinc is also a solid. Bronze is another example, and copper and tin. This is been mixed in any proportion, right? Similarly, we have heterogeneous mixture. Heterogeneous mixture you can say for example salt and say for example salt and sand. Okay, salt and sand. It forms a salt is also a solid, sand is also a solid. Therefore, it is forming a heterogeneous mixture that can easily be perceived. You can easily identify that there are two substances they which are not mixed with each other. Similarly, we have sugar and tea powder. Yes, sugar and tea powder can easily be recognized. This is the sugar and this is the tea powder in the case of solid mixture, right? Like some more example, for example, one more we can take say for sand and iron fillings. That is also a heterogeneous mixture. So heterogeneous sand and iron fillings can easily be identified, right? So these are some of the examples for solid mixture forming what? Homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. Okay. Now we have solid and liquid forming homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. Forming homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture, now solid and liquid. So can we write that sugar and water forms a solid liquid homogeneous mixture, right? Solid is sugar and water is liquid. Therefore, it is forming a homogeneous mixture. Now, what would be the heterogeneous mixture? Heterogeneous mixture, what would be an example? Like we have number of examples. We have charcoal. We have charcoal plus water, right? Heterogeneous mixture, here charcoal is a solid and water is liquid. So when charcoal is mixed with water, you can identify that there are some black substances present in the water, right? So therefore charcoal plus water is a mixture which is having solid liquid heterogeneous mixture. Can some example can be written by you also? Sugar and for solid liquid homogeneous mixture, sugar and water. Then you have salt and water. Yes or no? These are all examples for solid liquid mixture. Next we have liquid mixture where the two constituents are liquid forming homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. Forming homogeneous and heterogeneous mixture. Liquid mixture, liquid forming homogeneous mixture. Like for example, if you add milk plus water, when water is been mixed with milk, it forms a homogeneous mixture that cannot be identified as milk, or it is a milk or it is a water, cannot be identified, right? So therefore milk and water forms a homogeneous mixture of liquid and liquid. Heterogeneous mixture can be the example like oil plus water, right? You can easily identify that it has formed two different layers depending upon the density of that liquid, and therefore it forms two layers and forms a heterogeneous mixture. Similarly, we have carbon tetrachloride plus water. This also shows the same result what the oil and water has shown. So this is the example for mixtures of what? Liquids. Two liquids forming homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Then we have liquid gas mixture. Okay, liquid gas, liquid gas mixture forming homogeneous and heterogeneous, right? Homogeneous and heterogeneous. Liquid gas, so we all drinks have soft drinks, right? And you know how the gas comes out as soon as we open the tap of a soft drink, right? So in that soft drinks we have liquid and a gas. That gas is nothing but carbon dioxide. So you can say carbon dioxide plus you have soda water. Soda water plus carbon dioxide can be an example for solid and gas mixture. Okay. Similarly, in heterogeneous mixture we have sulfur trioxide. Okay. When sulfur trioxide gas is mixed with water, water is a liquid and gas here is sulfur trioxide gas. It forms two different layers. We can easily identify that this is a heterogeneous mixture of liquid and gas. Then we have gas and gas mixture. So gas and gas mixture homogeneous mixture is a air, right? Air is a homogeneous mixture which have number of constituents in it, and also we can say that smoke is an example for gas and gas mixture forming heterogeneous mixture. Forming heterogeneous mixture, you can say smoke, air, etc. So this was about the examples of different constituents of the mixture forming different homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures. So students, this was all about today's session. Now let us discuss a worksheet on which is in page number 46. Okay. Give any two components of the following mixtures. So they are asking you the components. What are the components present in the following given mixture? Like for example, air. What are the components in air? Okay, nitrogen, oxygen, carbon, right? All these are the components of air, right? Next, smoke. In the smoke, the majority of the smoke contains what? It contains carbon particles plus that of the air particles. So smoke contains air as well as carbon particles. Right? Third one, gunpowder. Gunpowder contains niter and sulfur. Gunpowder contains niter and sulfur. Brass contains, just today's session we discussed, brass contains copper and zinc. Okay. Give examples of, so you can try out this, it is already there, examples are already there in the given chart. Like gas mixture. Gas mixture is nothing but air. Try it out, and 5 examples are there, you can easily try it out. Next we have Help Sangam to complete the following table, right? There is a mixture of iron and sulfur and hydrochloric acid is added to it. When hydrochloric acid is added to it, what is the reaction being seen? So, it forms a yellow residue in the form of gas, okay, which burns with a blue flame. So, it completely changes when the mixture of iron and sulfur is added to HCl. So HCl is been added to iron and sulfur mixture. What is going to happen? It turns out to be a yellow precipitate and leaves out a hydrogen gas with the blue flame, right? So therefore, which gas has been removed out? So hydrogen gas is been removed out. Another here in this case is compound of iron and sulfur. Okay, so compound of iron and sulfur is what? Iron sulfide. When hydrogen HCl hydrochloric acid has been added to it, what you can see, what the changes has been observed? You can observe that there the reaction has been taken place and hydrogen forms hydrogen chloride reacts with iron sulfide forming hydrogen sulfide gas, which releases a smell of rotten egg. Okay, so in observation what you can write? The gas of the rotten egg smell is evolved, which is which gas? It is a hydrogen sulfide gas. Reaction, if they ask you the reaction, so therefore in case of mixture, so you can write F plus sulfur plus 2HCl, it is what? Forming FeCl2 plus hydrogen gas is evolved out. Whereas in case of compound, so FeS, that is iron sulfide plus 2HCl forms what? Forms iron chloride plus what? Hydrogen sulfide gas. In this case, which gas is evolved? Blue flame gas is flame with the hydrogen gas is evolved. In this case, rotten egg smell. Okay students, so this was all about today's session. Thank you.